So everybody comes out to pay respects. It's actually mostly legends, Tenzan, the Kokeshi guy, Honma. And everyone's dressed in more or less appropriate attire. They're wearing tracksuits. Some of them are wearing like merchandise shirts. There's Yuji Nagata. And Yuji Nagata comes out wearing a weird New York sweater. The symbol is on all the base caps. He comes out wearing a sweater like that, but it's not even like scented. It's like half-scented New York dad sweater. Everybody else is wearing wrestling gear of some kind. He's just Yuji Nagata. Yeah. And it's interesting also because in a way to show the actual 10-bell salute, when you look behind the ring, there's Bolin Oleg. I don't think they've actually decided which of those is his first name, which of those is his last name, which is a bit weird and for him to be in this position. I don't know if it's planned. I don't know if it's planned in any way. I don't think it is, but interesting thing. So they stand there. The people holding photographs are Tanahashi and Tiger Mask. I'm not quite sure who's under the Tiger Mask at the moment. And yeah, it is always a weird thing, because one of them was like in his 70s, but one of them was like 53, 54. And with wrestling, you always got to think, did the profession to contribute to dying relatively early, especially for Japanese standards? I mean, not that people don't die in their 50s in Japan, but it's just like, it suggests some influence of a certain lifestyle. And Japanese wrestling is by no means like the most likely to kill you early, especially if you compare it to the style they had in ECW, or the schedule they still do have in the WWE and some other promotions. Because of course New Japan also has like blocks where they do 5, 6, 7 shows a month, but then usually people are rotated quite a bit, and if they are in more than 1 or 2 matches in a month, then usually half of the matches are like 4-on-4s, 5-on-5s, where the actual physical part is 2-3 minutes per person, right? But still, it's weird, and it tells you something about human nature in a way. I remember watching Rush, the movie about Formula One drivers, like Niki Lauda and James Hunt. And I was like, I don't know, I was slightly high. I was thinking, what the fuck is the purpose of driving around in a circle over and over and over again? And I guess wrestling is a similar thing. What's the purpose of pretend fighting over and over and over again? And that's not something that you can easily answer, or answer immediately, but I guess in a way, when you think about it, it does create something that's beautiful. And I think that's something that's not talked about quite enough, because wrestling is de facto like an 80% masculine thing. We don't want to talk about, oh, it's so pretty or whatever. But I think there is something to it that it is an art form. I think by now most people agree to that, but like, it is an art form, but it's not just entertainment. It actually creates something that is meaningful, and that goes beyond just passing the time and by looking at something weird. And we can talk about the is there some heroism to be found in doing something that passes the time for other people? But yeah, this goes a bit too deep. Let's go back into the show. So before the actual 10-bell salute, they go over the achievements respectively, and it's a bit hard to watch because especially for Gran Hamada, they talk about, oh, he was an influence to Tiger Mask, and Tiger Mask, one of them, he's the one holding the image. And this is kind of a bit heavy, but I guess it makes you appreciate the legacy that goes into things like that. So the actual show starts with a video package about the anniversary, and the first match on the card is El Fantasma versus question mark, question mark, question mark. So naturally, we're all expecting Great O'Khan, the greatest wrestler alive. So ELP comes up with his glowing LED glasses gimmick. Actually has to have a unification match for that with Ishimori, who's also brought it back. So now they have to battle because there can only be one. Anyways, he comes out. I think that's a good reception. And he grabs the microphone. And he's like, "Oh wait, before the opponent comes out, what's up? Make some noise." But he says it in English. And he says it in English, in a kind of weird way where it's not clear to understand. Like he doesn't enunciate syllables, so kind of like I do. Yeah, like fucking few people clap, and then fucking Jado grabs the microphone because Jado's coming out with Alpha, and he's translating it to Japanese. And I was like, yeah, we totally knew that was what he was saying. And it goes in because, like, I think Alpha Plasma just doesn't get it, so he keeps cutting a promo in English, trying to hype the crowd up in his particular variety of English. It's not like people in Japan overwhelmingly don't understand English, especially in the Tokyo area. I mean, actually, specifically in the Tokyo area, it's not that people overwhelmingly don't understand English, but it's still not the majority, I think. So anyways, he was like, "Oh wow, it's the 53rd it's the 53rd anniversary. That means 55 years of New Japan." Which, to be fair, is one of those moments where I'm happy that New Japan is a Japanese company, because in America, there's no way there wouldn't have been like a humongous uproar of what, which is a bit less of a solemn way to kick the show. So anyway, ELP keeps cutting a promo in English about, the challenge is going to come out. It was an open challenge, first open challenge. He stops after every couple of sentences and Jado translates. Eventually he gets to the point of, I don't care who's going to come out to challenges. I don't care if it's a young guy or if it's an old guy. And he sort of puts his arm on Jado. And a few people in the crowd, they want to get the implication. And Jado takes a long time to translate this part. He sort of looks at ALP like, what the fuck? And I kind of, at this point, I was like, I'd be down for Jado versus ALP. And, he goes further, because the next thing ELP says is like, I don't care if the opponent has luscious hair or if he's bald. And he, sort of emphasizes the baldness. And Jado takes even longer to translate this. So at this point, I was really like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm down for it. And ELP's like, whatever, because Jado's like, oh well, just somebody else challenges him, and he goes to the ropes and he's like speaking his first Japanese of the night, and it's wrong Japanese. It's grammatically nonsensical Japanese. Well, people kind of like him, I suppose. I guess it's even better because as he is speaking grammatically nonsensical Japanese, he puts his belt on the ropes, like he latches it around the top rope, so it's sort of hanging in front of the camera. And as he gets down after saying whatever he said, he shakes the ropes and the belt just falls out of the ring. So the challenge is revealed, and it's Master Vado, who's I think done nothing since like the Battle Royal on Wrestle Kingdom, I think. Maybe. Actually, no, maybe he was in the Lucha Gauntlet, the Wrestle Dynasty. Anyways, he comes out, offers a handshake, ELP slaps his hand. They do a spot in the beginning, which is really funny, because they do the column elbow tie-up into the ropes. ELP is the one pressing Vado into the ropes, and he slaps his chest in the rhythm of a clap, and he gets a clap going by slapping his titties. That's fun. But yeah, it's actually a really nice opening match. A lot of times, Vado was like believable in the possibility that he might have actually won. They did some outside stuff. Towards the end of the match, ELP hit like the most disgusting rebound lariat. Like, it looked like because he did this Vado did the selfie, this spin in the air. And he landed on his neck. There he kicked out of that, and he lifts him up into like a burning hammer. It's not really a burning hammer. Like he doesn't drop him sheer drop sideways. He just drops him in like a weird neck breaker. But like it's more or less a burning hammer. And fucking Master Vado kicks out of the burning hammer, kind of. Yeah, ELP hits a top rope Hurricane Rana. Vado landing flat on his ass, like that was painful. And a splash for the free count. That was very, very nice opening match. Next up we have Bullet Club, unaffiliated / Rogue Army, I guess. Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. Chase Owens is actually a 3-time tag champion. and a 1-time unofficial King of Pro Wrestling champion. And they're facing TMDK with Hartley Jackson and Rihai Owa. Yeah, this was a match. This certainly was a match. Bad Luck Fale looks like somebody's dad. Very angry, ex-military dad. Or probably more like a security guard. He says he's ex-military, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, there wasn't much to this match. There was one cool spot where I think it was Oiva got thrown out of the ring and Fale did like the trample, the Braun Strowman thing, but like you didn't really see him chart it up, so it was more just a camera cut to guy being thrown out of the ring, immediately getting trampled. That was fun. But Bullet Club wins without taking their shirts off. The Bullet Club dad, the Bullet Club dad bod contingent wins. With a standing elbow drop, no less. Next up, it's more Bullet Club as the War Dogs of Sanada, Ishimori, and Gedo take on just 4 guys at this point, but it's actually just 3 guys because Duki is injured. So it's Takamichi Noko, Daichi, and the young guy, the other guy. Anyways, this is a serviceable match. At this point, this is kind of building anticipation for more important matches later on. I don't know what Sonata's deal is at this point. Like, he doesn't take his like tank top off, and I don't quite get what he's going for. I mean, like, it doesn't mean that he's not going for anything, or that it's not just that there isn't something that's happening there. It's like I don't really get it. It's like I get like ambiguously gay Elvis impersonator vibes at this point. Anyways, Sonata wins by doing the Eddie Guerrero thing with a guitar. So he slaps the guitar and falls down, tosses it at Uemura. And ref turns around, disqualifies them. Sonata wins. Oh, and Takamichi Noko, actually trained by Gran Hamada, the guy who was honored in the ceremony at the start of the show. Actually trained by Gran Hamada, but that's another thing I want to talk about. The thing about he came out with a shirt that maybe I saw it wrong, and that actually wasn't what it was, but to me he was wearing a shirt that had like a sad earth, like a globe with a face on it, a sad earth. And the writing in English, "You're already gonna die." What? What? I hope you like Bullet Club tag matches, because now we got Bullet Club versus Bullet Club. House of Torture, Ranarita, and Kanemaru, come out. Do the stick. They get jumped by 2 guys in hoodies. It's the War Dogs. It's Gabe Kidd and Drilla Maloney. They fight in the crowd for like 10 minutes. They tease like a balcony spot a bunch of times. It doesn't happen. At one point, Gabe Kidd is beating up Kanemaru like on sort of precipice of an entryway, and behind them there's a couple And the woman is like, oh, fuck, he's gonna fall. And the guy's like, hey, clapping and, smiling, laughing all the time. That's not unusual, but he's doing it like incessantly for 30 seconds or a minute. And I'm like, he, clap, 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 he, clap, 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 clap. They get back to the ring, the match starts. They get back out of the ring, they rack a shit ton of chairs. Ren Narita throws a drink that somebody had, rip that person's drink into Gabe Kidd's face, and that's how the match ends. Because they both get counted out. Ren Narita and Gabe Kidd are gonna face each other in the New Japan Cup in a week. I think so, at least. Yeah, I mean, this is the building heat for future matches section of the card, and yeah. And I guess House of Torture is still Bullet Club, but they're the most doing their own thing section of Bullet Club. And Gabe Kidd is really, really over. Just moves the finger and the crowd goes, ooh, hey. Also, weirdly, because for tag matches in header, usually, because in a one-on-one they have the full name in the corner. For tag matches they just usually have the last name, but for some reason Gabe Kidd is not indicated as Kid, but as Gabe. And I don't know if that's another Bolton Oleg situation where the guy doing the graphics confused the first and last name, or if it's everybody likes Gabe Kidd, so he's just Gabe now. He's Mr. Kidd, he's just Gabe. So yeah. Alright, third to last match. Surprise, surprise, we've got more Bullet Club. This time it's the rest of the House of Torture. Evil, Nick Togo, Yujiro, and Sho. Against Los Ingobernables, without Bushi. Actually without Bushi and some other people. So it's Naito, Takahashi, Shingo, and Hiromu. I already said Hiromu. And Yota Tsuji, who's a global heavyweight champion. Actually, Tsuji comes out last, which is a bit unusual because usually Naito comes out last, but I guess now Tsuji has the global heavyweight championship, which outranks the tag championship. Maybe? I don't know. It's just building up Tsuji. I mean, he won the New Japan Cup last year. He's in it again this year. Maybe... maybe he'll have a good run in G1 or something. I don't know. Anyways, they come out, each with their championship. Shingo doesn't have a championship. He comes out with his book, he wrote. And the book is going to be important going forward. So they come out, and this is actually the first time in a while that the match doesn't start with people jumping each other. Also, you think, because Los Ingobernables attack before the bell rings, so I guess technically it still starts with jumping over. And yeah, this was a nice match. Actually, I was a bit worried about Hiromu and Naito as a tag team, because the last couple of matches weren't that interesting to me personally. But yeah, this one was fine. Everybody got their stuff in. Dick Togo did the dick chop. At one point, Evil is on the outside, and Shingo left his book with the commentators. So Evil goes to the commentators and he grabs a book. And he rifles through it, and then he's like, oh wait, fuck, there's no pictures in here. He just fucking throws it in the ring. And then Sho does the curb stomp to the book and throws it out. Not damaging it that much, because he just hit it on top of the book, and it's probably the safest way to hit a book. Anyways. So match goes on. Nothing super worth mentioning. It's watchable, definitely, and it's a nice watch. It's not 5-star show this to someone who's never seen wrestling type territory, but it's decent. It ends with Hiromu locking in some kind of modified figure 4 type thing on Dick Togo. Actually kind of like the hard lock in a bit, but without the arms, like Tyson Kidd's hard lock. On Dick Togo taps. That's it. After the match, Tsuji hits the curb stomp on Evil. They go for a full man meet in the middle type thing, but Evil rolls out of the ring and escapes.
his vengeance for betraying Los Ingobernables, for betraying the group. I think 3 or 4 years ago at this point. I think 4 years, maybe in 5 years. I don't know. And yeah, Tsuji and Evil are gonna meet in the New Japan Cup first round next week. So setting up that semi-main event, title unification match. It's Francesco Akira, who's junior heavyweight champion in Francesco Akira's mind, taking on El Desperado, who's the junior heavyweight champion. Akira comes out and he's digivolved into. So he used to be the Nova Fireball, now he's the Crown of Fire. So he's digivolved up for this match. He's got the IWGP Crown of Fire champion, whatever, written on his wrist tapes. And this is a great match. Like, if you're even slightly inclined to watching it, then I would invite you to watch it before I spoil everything too. Yeah, it's fun. The story of this match is that the two of them faced in the Best of the Super Juniors last year. Akira put up a great fight. He was in the Angel's guitar thing submission for a long time. Then TJP threw in the towel, but he didn't tap. But he still lost because of that. And yeah, similar story here. Basically, Desperado just kicks him in the knee a shit ton of times. And Akira does all the, fancy high flying stuff, the moonsaults, the somersaults, the suicides. Desperado locks in the submission a lot of times. I know Akira always kind of gets out of it, like he reverses it into a roll up, or he gets to the ropes. Akira hits the Fireball Meteora. Desperado kicks out. He gets hit by the Angel's wings thing, like the swinging tiger facebuster. He kicks out. He hits Desperado with like a reverse Meteora, but Desperado's too close to the ropes. He gets hit with the Angel's wings again. He kicks out again. There were many moments in this where I thought it might be over. And he goes for the reverse Meteora again, but as he runs up, his knees are so fucked up that he falls over. Yeah, and eventually he gets put into like the full-on version of the submission, because it's often there's like one arm missing, or like one leg is not properly hooked. And this time he gets into the full-on version of the submission. It looks brutal. And yeah, he taps out. El Desperado retains his championship. But a great showing. And Francesco Akira is really over with the Japanese crowd. I think in large parts because he actually speaks decent Japanese. And of course also because he's Italian, and there's an Italian restaurant on every corner in Tokyo, especially. All over Japan, really, but in Tokyo especially.